Hey there guys, I'm Zach and this is Zach's Editing, and today I have for you guys a tutorial on Adobe Premiere Pro CS6 is what I'm using, but it should sort of relate to most other versions that you may have. So it's sort of just an overview of Premiere Pro, sort of the basics of using it, and that'll help you sort of to get to know the program much quicker and easier. So when you open it up, it'll come to this screen. It'll have this little screen here. It'll have your recent projects. You can see that I've used them recently. You can choose a new project, open project, or you can even have some help. So right now we'll add a new project, and then it's going to come up with this new project. You don't really have to worry about whatever this is, but just make sure it's in a good location, and that we'll just name it Premiere Pro tutorial. So then you hit OK, and then it'll come up with this new sequence sort of window. You don't need to worry about this right now. You can just hit OK, as it will change once you import your files. So then it'll come up to a screen sort of like this. I've got it in pretty much the default, just in editing. I've got it as, so you can put it into that. If you want to see how I sort of do mine, you might have it in a slightly different view, but this works very well. So to get your files into Premiere Pro, you can go to the media browser and choose any files that you want, or you can go into File and then Import and import the files you want. So I'll just import some files that we'll use when editing today. Okay, so I uploaded those files, and what you want to do is make sure you open up the project window. So if you don't have that, you can just go to Window and then down to Project, and that'll open it. So I've got these videos of my dog that I took. So in this project bar, what you can do, which is really nifty, if you just scroll along, you can actually see what these shots are. So you can see that this is a very big shot because I'm just moving my cursor very slightly, and it's doing a big difference. So you can see that that's obviously a slower one because my cursor moving across isn't quite doing as much. You can sort of view what those are just by looking at it, and you can also change the size of them just down here with this little scaler. If you just need to see a bit closer to see which ones you're going to pick. So then with this, what you can do is if you just double click it, then it'll open it up in your source window. So just make sure that it's set to fit so you're not missing anything. You can set it small or whatever you need, but yeah, fits fine. And then what you can do is just figure out what any parts that you want. So say I might grab that little bit that I just scrolled through. So if I just go to the start of that, and then if I hit I, and then if I go to the end of where I want that to cut out, and I'll just hit O. So now you can see this shows this little section which is where we want. And then what we'll do is we'll just drag it down and then into this sequence which is in the bottom right corner. So now we'll just drag it onto this here, so you can see you can put on any of these video slots or audio, and then you'll come up with this little box. It says that the clip doesn't match the sequence settings, and then you just hit change sequence settings. So now what those original sequence settings that you could have set, you don't need to worry because it is used what is just from that video. So I think Adobe Premiere Pro, the Workspace, is most like Adobe Audition. The fact that it's got the sequence sort of layout and the effect controls and the program sort of there as well in the project. So if you've used Audition, it should be a bit easier to get your head around. It's quite a bit different from After Effects, but it's still quite simple to use. So you've got these 3 videos and 3 audios. So whenever you upload something, if it's got an audio, have the video and the audio all together. So just a quick little trick, if you want to unlink the audio, so say you want to take out the audio or move the audio, change it, what you can do is just right click on that file and then go to unlink, and then it just unlinks the audio from the video, and so you can just delete that audio or move it if you want to. So I'll just delete the audio for now. And then what you can see up here is also this workspace. So that's quite similar to After Effects if you've used that. So you can sort of change that to whatever you need, but you can just move it and it'll sort of clip to files like that. So you've got this marker, which is pretty much just your time cursor. Wherever you move it, it'll show in your program. And then when you've got this video, you can see you haven't really got any drop downs for effects like you might know in Adobe After Effects. But all you have to do is just select the video or the audio, you can do as well. And if you just go to Effect Controls, again, if you don't have that, you can just look in the Window tab. And then you've got these sort of main sort of effects. So you've got the Opacity tab, which is just opacity, and also the blend mode. It's pretty simple to use. And then you've also got motion, so if you want to move that around, then that works as well, and scale and rotation and anchor point. And then you've also got time remapping, where you can just change the speed if you want to. Depending on what your needs are. And then audio mixer, if you've got your audio, you can use that. Metadata you won't really need to use. And then you've also still got effects on Adobe Premiere Pro. So I'll show you just in the effects bar, if you don't have it, again in the window tab. So anything that I'm using, just check in your window tab for it, and you just want to click on it. So then in effects, you've got some presets, audio effects. So if you've got audio transitions, video effects, and video transitions. So say you can add some of those video effects that you might have on After Effects. Quite a lot of them are similar. They might not be as advanced, but they do definitely work pretty well. So say you want to bend it or something, you can do that. And then if you just go in Effect Controls, you can change all of those depending on what you want. So we'll just take away that effect because we don't really want it right now. And then when you're just editing the videos in the sequence, these are some great tools. I find the most helpful one is just the cursor, obviously, and then the razor tool I find really easy as well. So the razor tool pretty much, so say you pull in a full video here, and then you might just scroll through on here. The razor tool, you can pretty much just grab it and then just cut anywhere you want, and then it just splits it apart like that. Another simple way to quickly get the razor tool is if you just grab your time cursor and put it in a specific place that you want. Then if you just hit Control K, that'll just razor it right at that time cursor, so it'll be really accurate. So any of these other tools you can play around with. They're pretty simple just by looking at them, but I'll keep going with what you'll need more often. So if you need to add any text or anything that's overlaying, or even just anything that's sort of overlaying, what you can do is you can pull up something onto the second video. If you've previously created it, you can see that it actually blocks the first video. You can just say go onto the effect controls and bring down the opacity if you want to see it underneath it there. But also what you can do, so say if you've got text, you can create a new title. So if you go to title, new title, and then default still is generally what you want to use. You can just change those settings and name it whatever you want. And then it brings you up with this sort of title view. So generally it's for text. You might also use it for boxes, but pretty much what you can do, you can write, this is the title. And then you've got all of these different customizations you can do. Pretty simple just by reading at them. But yeah, so you can do that. And then you just close it, and then you just need to look in your project panel for it, and then you can just drag it on to wherever you want, and you can change it to however long you want. That's another nifty thing with Premiere Pro if you've just got the cursor. If you just go to the very edge of the video, you can see this little icon here will just make it longer, but this video I can't. But say I cut it in first, you can bring it inwards, or you can bring it outwards to its full extent of that video. But say with the title, it can just go for infinite time. So then this title will just come on for that specific moment. Now if you have these 3 videos already and you want to add another video, you may be like, no, I can only have 3 videos, that sucks. But what you can do, Premiere Pro doesn't really have those sort of boundaries. You just need to right click, and then you just go add tracks, and it'll come up with this add tracks, and you can add video tracks or audio tracks. So say if you add 2 video tracks and you might need no audio tracks, then you can see if you just scroll up, you've got more video tracks. So you can obviously down tab these, and you can hide them and do any of that sort of stuff. And then you can also zoom in just by dragging this, or if you hold Alt and scroll, that'll also zoom in, just like some of the other programs you use Alt and Scroll. So then when you want to preview it, you just hit spacebar. I mean, you might not have needed to know that, it might be sort of obvious, but I just thought I'd say it just in case there was any of you that don't know how to use that. So yeah, and then this little nifty thing has the audio levels. So you want to make sure it never goes above 0. If it does go above 0, have that little red lines that would sort of warn you for a little bit that it went too loud. But I mean, apart from that, that's pretty much all the basics that you need to know. So thanks for watching this Adobe Premiere Pro in 10 minutes, I guess. Yeah, I really hoped you got something out of it. Obviously, if you're a beginner, then this would have helped a lot. But even if you weren't a beginner, hopefully you were able to grab something out of this. So I just created a blog on the Zach's Editing website, /zacksediting.wix, which is wix.com/LCLS, which just stands for Let's Create, Let's Share, which is this sort of motto. And then you just look through, and on the tabs there is a blog. So I'm hopefully going to be posting some articles every now and then that I'll write. I recently made a 15 tips and tricks to design your posters and flyers more effectively, which was sort of made from the video. I'm looking to hopefully create one of why you won't become a graphic designer overnight. That'll go out soon, I hope. So yeah, just watch that space. Also on the Facebook, you'll see updates of that and updates of any future videos that I have. So in the description, I've got those sort of links down there. So again, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.